Well, that was well timed. Alright, folks, it is time for races 11 and 12, my word, in the ARC GT3 Challenge Championship. I think it's championship. After having missed the Laguna Seca last week due to having the cold and my throat being hoarse, I am back to broadcast the Circuit of the Americas rounds as we get near, I think, pretty close to the end of this season. I don't know how many are left to go, but it can't be very many if this is round 11 and 12. Qualifying just gotten underway, and you're not going to get a whole lot of laps in as I'm trying to find who that lead car is heading towards the Triple Apex. Who are you? Oh, it's the debuting rookie of the race. Random coughing. I believe this must be for Auto Advance Racing. We have the debut of a very oversteery Joshua Bowditch, I believe is how you say his last name. Making their ARC GT3 debut. I believe it wasn't too long ago they made their ARC debut, period. Also by far our youngest competitor, because that 10-16-09 in his username I believe is his age or birth date. So he was the first car to exit the pits. I believe that must be Luke Allen behind him. No, it is not. That's the wrong Ferrari. There are 4 of them. So who would that be? It's not Connor Hannick. That looks really weird in this lighting. Who is that Ferrari? Who is that Pokemon? What? Oh, it's Jamie Wright behind him. Of course. Oh. At least we're getting the obligatory background noise done before we actually start the race. Is clearly the rookie's having some car control issues and nearly just spun out right in front of Jamie Wright. Manages to at least get out of the Ferrari's way, but that was way louder than it needed to be. What on earth? What in and on earth? Not yet? Alright, we'll go with that. Joshua's car is louder than Jamie's is. And we're following Jamie's. That doesn't make any sense. So the first lap of the session is invalidated, so it's not going to be Jamie's. It also wasn't the first lap of the session. Oh, DIVEBOMB is right behind all that and runs at 2:05.7. Alright. Due to the length and the complex nature of Circuit of the Americas, the skill gap is probably going to be pretty apparent here. And around goes Suchel in the S's. AJ Knickel with a 2:06. An 8 or 0? I'm thinking 8. So 2:06.8. Fidel Fabian 2:08.3. Luke Allen also 2:08.3. Also sideways into turn 1. 2:08.4 for Carter Ritchie. So we found the middle ground apparently. Somehow I'm thinking that, what? Nope, Jonathan Jerkensmeyer runs a 2:11.8. I don't think this 2:56 is quite representative of Matthew Stott's true pace, and, well, we're about half sector away from knowing what said true pace is as he makes his way up to the last two corners. Logan Cool ran a 2:21.1. Jen Torres a 2:18.5. Matthew Stotts will do a 2:07.2. Yeah, I'd say it's a little better than a 2:56. Goodness. Connor Hannick ran a 2:37. Don't think that's right. Suchel is spun again. That Porsche is not being kind right now. Logan Cool is cruising behind his teammate at the moment. Probably going to get some slipstream benefits from here. Because I think Dylan's on an outlap. Yeah. Although, then he doesn't really slow down for the chicane. It's a weird looking chicane. That's a hairpin me. Still up. I don't... Again, can't tell if that was an 8 or 0. That's track limits. That... well, off. Cool also has a pit lane violation. I guess he crossed over the white lines. Or he forgot to press the pit limiter button. That's also possible, but... seems like a basic action to take. Up to this point, Travis Van Oostendorp is the only driver with no lap time set. Now Logan got invalidated, so... it looks like he might be on his way around to do it as we speak. It's either the end of the lap or he's about to begin it, one way or the other. Suchel has been disqualified for a pit lane violation. I don't think speeding can do that. I don't know what could do that. Van Oostendorp with a 2:09.2, so right smack in the middle of the grid so far. And we're already basically at the end of the session. Everyone's going to be on or starting their final laps. Because just to get around this track takes 2 minutes. I think we probably could have done with the 15-minute session almost, but... and again, this is only for the sprint. So... it's hard to put that much stock in the qualifying session. Yeah, the track limits might not like that one. Jan Torres in the background improved to a 2:06.98, so basically a 10th off Pinnacle. That track limits definitely won't like that one. What else is going on around the circuit? Is this a lap or is this a not lap? If it was a lap, it wasn't any good. I think the most appropriate place to put the camera at the moment is current pole sitter DIVEBOMB is on his way off the track almost. Oh my word. Yeah, track limits didn't like that, and neither did your car. Oh my word. That's certainly disrupted two other cars that were on laps. I don't know who they... well, I know one was AJ Knickel, and looks like that would have been Matthew Stotts up there. No, it was Van Oostendorp. So that spin might have just accidentally, or incidentally, I should say, given DIVEBOMB the pole because it disrupted AJ, who only missed out on his pole by 0.07 of a second. Now the actual Matthew Stotts crosses, tries to follow somebody across for slipstream improves not much. Little Fabian on the front stretch. He improved a lot, 206.8. A second off the leaders, but still good enough for the second row. It says a lot, just that sentence alone. Oh yeah, this is a lap for Luke Allen. I almost said Allen Luke. No? I'm reading it off like it's a report card. Well, this happens when you have two first names. Can't trust those people, you know. Or maybe I'm just a weirdo. It's probably that. And the last two corners. There aren't many other drivers left running, so this should be one of, if not the final lap of the qualifying session. Ignore the kitchen sink. That car crossed, I didn't see the leaderboard shift around. Allen will close out the session. Couldn't see what happened. He did not improve, I don't think.
You worried about my noises?
Riker's mother tried not to interrupt the broadcast challenge. Impossible. Anyway, that said and done. Attempt to run down the grid order quickly before the race begins. DIVEBOMB is the pole sitter over AJ Knickel, Fidel Fabian, Jen Torres, Matthew Stotts, Carter Ritchie, Travis Van Oostendorp, Luke Allen, Connor Hannick. I think these two teammates are on the same row, basically. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Jamie Wright, Joshua Bowditch in his debut starts 12th. Only starting ahead of two cars, one that got disqualified in the form of Setchel in the Porsche, and the other, Logan Cool, who got a pit lane violation and never made another valid lap throughout the whole session. Swell timing. The less than 5 red lights are green, and we are away from the sprint round of Circuit of the Americas. AJ Knickel has stalled massively and been jumped by 3 cars. The two Renaults had a good jump. Let's see how much they can do with it, as Matthew Stotts is already looking at second place over Fidel. Mind you, he started 5th, so he clearly had the whole shot here as we get into the sprint round. I never really had a time to go over it in the qualifying session, but Circuit of the Americas is basically what I consider to be 2 racetracks in one. You have this really technical section at the first half of the track, where you really can't do much of anything but pray to God you don't clip a curb and send yourself to space. And then we have the second half, where there's a bunch of consecutive hairpins and decently heavy braking zones that allow for close quarters combat and, you know, actual changes of positions. AJ Knickel's recovered to at least grab P3 back. Fidel Fabian will easily outdrag the RS01 heading down the back straightaway, and now we get into the consecutive hairpins, which should yield some more interesting racing, as the camera's not even looking at Matthew Stotts. There we go. AJ Knickel has found his way a little off the track. As we kind of look further back, it's sort of business as usual on the first lap. Everyone's just trying to figure out where they're going to be more than anything else. Oh my god, Matthew Stotts is right there. Track limits are fine. Dylan doesn't make too many mistakes early in the races, but Matthew Stotts is certainly going to be applying no shortage of pressure here. At the end of lap 1, Dylan still leads, but only from Matthew, not from Knickel. Van Dusendorp gets to the inside of the AMG, but the exits from the high lane of the first hairpin gives Knickel the advantage on corner exit. Turn 1 is also a passing zone pretty easily, as Knickel finds himself massively out of shape in the S's. But once you get through turn 2, someone's going to have to be the winner. You can't go too wide through the S's, not in any car that I can think of. Fidel Fabian might have just learned that the hard way, as he is around in the first half of them, and has demoted himself outside of the top 10. Bowditch is just not really quite much on the track. Baum has a mere few meters of breathing room against Stotts, and AJ has about the same space ahead of the other Renault of Travis. As Logan Cool will out-drag the 650S down the back straightaway. Can Joshua try and take it back, or will they remain cautious? They will lock up and slam into the quarter panel of Logan, and as a result, lose the place to Jamie Wright. That was a weird crash, to say the least. We've got like 3 separate packs of cars at this moment. We have the lead 5 or 6. Yeah, lead 6. And even those 6 are split into groups of 2. With Matthew Stotts on the tail of Dylan Baum, Travis Van Oostendorp putting pressure on AJ Knickel, and Carter Ritchie trying to stay on the back diffuser of Jan Torres. Logan Cool currently leads the second group of cars, as Jamie Wright has been dive-bombed by Joshua Bowditch. He was not there at the braking zone, I can assure you of that. So, that's not a great first impression from our debuting driver there. So now Luke Allen is in P2. And that's pretty much actually separated that group, because Jurgensmeyer's there. But now the rest of the other 5 behind them all are super spread out. And really now it's only Luke close to Logan and nobody else. Van Oostendorp must have gotten ahead at the second hairpin. AJ Knickel with that AMG horsepower would like to take that back. But they have both utterly missed the hairpin, the third hairpin. Travis was sort of boxed off the track simply because neither of them actually broke where they were supposed to. AJ dummies ascend at the 5th hairpin. There are 5 hairpins on this track, and each one have multiple ways to enter them and multiple ways to exit them. And also multiple ways to pass somebody there, or multiple ways to crash into somebody there. There's also the 6th hairpin, which isn't really that much of a braking, not really that much of a passing zone, because of how slow it is. But we can still see some desperate last corner moves there, if need be. Turn 1 is a heavily ambiguous braking zone as we go up the hill. You can brake just about anywhere, and being uphill will help you slow down and allow you to angle it into this triangular hairpin to do precisely what we just saw AJ Kinnickle perform. That kind of overtake. And of course we have the S's, which are apparently supposed to be an allusion to Silverstone, but to me it just kind of looks like crossover attack from Van Oostendorp. You can go too wide through these S's. It's the first half where you absolutely can't. And Travis will sneak on the outside after AJ Kinnickle gets a moment. That's a pretty smooth move there from that Renault. The second hairpin is about as ambiguous, but it's not uphill. And DIVEBOMB is unambiguously around out of it, and he has lost the lead and more from that spin. Ahead goes AJ Kinnickle. Travis Van Oostendorp will also follow suit. So DIVEBOMB finds himself in 4th. Not exactly a game over, but certainly symbolic of Dylan's season so far. As everybody except for DIVEBOMB misses that hairpin. I don't know why that breaking point is so hard to find. But our drivers today just cannot seem to locate where they hit the brake. AJ is taking a very shallow line into the hairpin. Van Oostendorp crosses over beautifully. They make a bit of fender contact, but that's all about legal in the world of GT3. AJ has the inside through the triple apex though, and with a bit of a surprise move, catching Travis off guard. Well, get back to second. Van Oostendorp does whatever that was, and DIVEBOMB is around again, and this time he's probably got to fix that. Because that probably did a lot more damage this time. It was probably thrown off by whatever Travis's line was into that second to last turn and forgot how to drive his own car. I've done that before. You can angle it in late, or you can just attack the apex at the entrance. There's two ways to skin a cat, you know, and that hairpin is a cat. What? There's a Rikerism. There are two ways to skin a cat, and that hairpin is a cat. Van Oostendorp with a line, one of the apexes of all time there. Huge oversteer from the Renault though. I'm surprised he didn't just go around altogether. More track limit malarkey, since I feel like that was all 4 off. And now it's a 4-car train behind the AMG of Kinnickle. Jan Torres fancies ascend to the second hairpin. Again, I believe it's roughly the same shape as the first one, it's just not up a hill. So you can't brake as late, and you can't angle it in the same way. Still makes a good passing zone, and if you didn't get it done there, you can always try into the third hairpin of the lap, if you can actually make the apex, which Jan Torres has done exactly that. Still is not clear of that 01 car though. They make more fender contact as Torres is forced the extra long way around. And there is Carter Ritchie trying to take advantage of all of that mess. Torres shuts the door on the Acura driver. Those two hairpins can also be passing zones, but more often than not, they're just kind of a battleground for cars that were already too wide at the end of the last straightaway. But they can still create exciting battles and occasionally a lot of contact. Luke Allen has still not found a way ahead of the Lamborghini of Logan yet, who now is actually leading his team after DIVEBOMB retires the car from the damages sustained to it. All that this battle has done is made it really easy for Matthew Stotts to just drive away. He's gotten an 8-second lead, and if Travis can just continue to disrupt people, that lead will only grow. And Travis is nothing if not disruptive. And he's got a pretty decent run out of there. He might disrupt again, but the AMG just has too much horsepower for the Renault to keep up with. AJ gets away for now. We have another hairpin. Travis does not really get the exit he was looking for there. So AJ gets ahead cleanly. Who does not get a good exit is Torres, who's now under a huge threat from that Acura of Carter Ritchie. Takes the right side of the Bentley. Braking, makes the corner about well enough, as he wasn't sure if he was clear of the Bentley, and he was. AJ has created some space between him and Travis, so he's looking to at least lock in P2, but I think Matthew Stotts might be out of the question here, as he is putting together some serious laps. At 2:07.5 in race pace, there are a lot of cars that wish they could have run that in qualifying. For comparison, AJ runs almost over a second slower. Yeah, that cough was painful. Definitely gonna need a drink or two while we're in between sessions, that's for sure. The cold is mostly gone, as I mentioned on the AF1 stream Friday night. The cold is basically gone at this point. However, it does sort of linger in my vocal cords. They are a little bit more fragile than they usually are, and they're already not exactly built tough. So this stream and the last especially were a little bit taxing on my vocal cords. Speaking of taxing, Van Oostendorp is almost running AJ over at the second hairpin. I think the only thing keeping that Renault back, or keeping Travis from passing AJ, is the fact that he's really overfueled that car. A lot. He was almost fueled for the full race. You've had some really interesting corners there at that hairpin. I don't really know what's going on today. It must be a full moon. Or maybe it's just because Valentine's Day. Or as I like to call it, Single Relationship Awareness Day. Or SARD for short. Actually, that's rad. As we've already begun the final lap here in the sprint, Matthew Stotts has an 8-second and change lead over AJ Knickel, and he's got his teammate to try and play rear gunner. Maybe secure a 1-2 finish for the Renault drivers. First step to that, though, is you gotta not spin out into turn 1. There really is no other battle on track. Carter Ritchie is somewhat close to Jen Torres, but it's not really that close. And Luke Allen is attempting and struggling to keep up with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer for 6th. So it's really just down to Van Oostendorp and Knickel to craft a memorable race finish here. There's a decent exit from Van Oostendorp. Almost a bit too good, as I just put him right up to the back of AJ, but not with any good exit speed because of that. Knickel defends into the second hairpin. Van Oostendorp can just about reach out and touch his rear wing there. You know, but that AMG horsepower is just immense. Travis is going to have to do something extra into these other hairpins. Stopping in time is a good start. Travis is going to go for broke here into the fourth hairpin. finds nothing. Almost finds his quarter panel, in fact. Another desperate lunge. This is like the best dive bomb corner because you can basically attack the apex directly or arc it in like a normal person. But it's the final lap of the sprint race, so normality gets kind of chucked out the window here. Andersendorf is super far off track. Matthew Stotts will go on to win the sprint race here at COTA, and Travis will not have an answer for that AMG. He will come home in a mere 3rd place. Jurgensmeyer will creep through the final corner. He'll grab 6th. Luke Allen P7, and getting another feature pole, Mr. 8th place himself, Logan Cool, is going to be the pole in the feature race. That's terrifying, I gotta be honest with you. And now, absolute destruction at the top of the hill. Travis is hiding as we just see a myriad of flying objects at the distance. I believe those are signboards. Yeah. There's supposed to be a rule against this, I should point out. We're not supposed to be doing this, but everyone does it anyway. We're supposed to be on pit limiter doing a cooldown lap, but everyone's just like, nope, we play in burnout today. Connor Hannick is still not done. Everybody else is, but Hannick is still in the Triple Apex. This is not a race to remember for him, to say the least. Hey guys, Travis is hiding in the pit lane, so I'm gonna go hit him. Coward! Can't even park your car! And so that will wrap things up for the sprint round. So we should have Logan Cool and Luke Allen on the front row for the feature, followed by Jurgensmeyer, Carter Ritchie, Jan Torres, Travis Vandersendorp, AJ Knickel, and Matthew Stotts will start 8th after winning the sprint round. Do not press the red button, me. Alright, now, brief intermission while I attempt to get myself to stop coughing real quick. Yes, I have a Cadillac selected, don't question it. Alright, Kleenex and drink break completed. This time I'll hopefully be doing a bit less coughing as we get set for, goodbye TV remote, as we get set for the 18 lap future race. Ignore that's 19, we need the formation lap, blah 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 blah, we've been here before. Give me my speedometer and map and chase cam so I can see what on earth is going on. Actually, no, for formation lap, we can do trackside because we're not going fast. Admittedly, if there were an actual qualifying session, this front row would make perfect sense to me, anyway. Then you look at the second and third rows, and then it kind of falls apart. But it looks dumb when the green lights light up and nobody goes anywhere. As we prepare for what will be the longest formation lap of the year, just about, despite the fact that almost everybody is already lined up and we haven't even reached the S's. Yeah, everybody must be lined up now. We're going, speeding up to 60. I'm just looking at the fuel lights, and, that's not the right amount of fuel. I don't think Logan Cool is going to the end with 25 liters of gas. I would think you'd need at least 50, no matter what car you're driving. And considering his teammates got 61, yeah, I believe Logan may have made a mistake. So I already went over the abridged version of the starting grid, but we got time to kill on this formation lap, so I might as well go over the full grid. 8th in the sprint race means pole position, once again, for Logan Cool. It's about the only way he ever gets poles, and he gets them unsettlingly often, for lack of a better word. I don't really think unsettlingly is a word, but it is now, because I say so. Luke Allen, P2, followed by Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Carter Ritchie, Jan Torres, Travis Van Oostendorp, AJ Knickel, and Matthew Stotts, who won the sprint round. And then it's Jamie Wright, Fidel Fabian. I was like, wait, aren't they out of order? No, they're not. The Porsche of Setchel, Connor Hannock, and Dylan Baum, who DNF'd from the previous round, will start in dead last and attempt to complete the last to question mark challenge. If he can avoid spitting off the track, I'm pretty sure he should be on for a decent result in spite of starting in dead last. And he has the assistance of his teammate on pole, who will probably help create some space. Logan's driving style is polarizing, but in many situations he is actually a decent teammate to have, as he is very good at defensive driving, which can create space for his teammate, even maybe at the expense of the other drivers sometimes, but that's neither here nor there. I thought we were doing single file race starts. As we roll up to the starting grid, Logan Cool gets to determine where we go green for the feature race here in Circuit of the Americas. He's not doing it at the F1 line or the timing line. He's going to probably wait right up to the start-finish, actually. Yep, right at the start-finish line, and we are green for the feature race. Everyone changes lanes frenetically in the back. Logan leads into one. Luke Allen could not get enough of an advantage. And I'm immediately taking my happy rear end back to the chase camera so I can actually see what's going on. And oh my word, DIVEBOMB is being forced 3 wide, and AJ Knickel has spun off of a curb, and he has collected a Renault, who rejoins questionably and nearly clobbers the Bentley of Torres. Setchel takes advantage, and through goes DIVEBOMB. See what happens when I use chase cams on lap 1. I actually see things that happen. That's Matthew's thoughts in that Renault that nearly got clobbered by AJ Knickel. Not nearly, he straight up did. And just managed to save the vehicle before any more damage was done. Logan has just... I think he spun the tires off the corner exit there or something, but Travis was completely caught unaware and creates a concertina effect, which Jurgensmeyer seems to have been unaffected by, as he has a huge run on that Ferrari. Van Ursendorf is done waiting, sends it on the inside of Logan, but as I mentioned, Logan's strongest suit is defensive driving. This is going to be one difficult Lamborghini to pass, that's for sure. There are a few guaranteed things in this world, but Logan being a tough overtake is one of them. Even though Travis looks clear, Logan will still ride the inside and at least force him offline for just a second. He couldn't generate a run like he'd planned though, so he can't quite take it back to him. Not yet, anyway. He might have a chance. It's not like Travis is gone. Bit of oversteer, but... it still kind of makes some work from here if you're crazy, but I would recommend against it. He's making something work from here. Travis sees it coming and gets out of the way. That's probably the smartest thing he could do. And Logan Cool is back to the lead. Also, DIVEBOMB is already up into P5. Just making his way through the chaos. Knickel with a less than ideal start. Out over the top half as we speak. Matthew Stotts probes for weakness and gets ahead of Jurgensmeyer. Travis detects early braking from Logan, looks to take advantage. They make some quarter panel defender contact, but by some miracle, no spins. However, the Huracan might have the slight top speed advantage, so he will clear Van Ursendorf once again, just like I said. And now COTA Ritchie is getting involved. He's going to just back out and let whatever happens, happens. Best case scenario, Travis has overshot the hairpin entirely. Still tries to take the lead from Logan despite being all the way removed from the track, and that time, I don't know what that was, just Logan turning in too early. That's about what it would have taken to get ahead of him, too, I'm thinking. So there's some classic hairpin shenanigans, but that's certainly given DIVEBOMB a pretty easy way to catch up to the leaders. As Logan plays dodgeball for the first first lap and a half of this feature race. Everyone's playing the funny games down the front straightaway, on my word. Dylan makes the dive into... Nope. Right up to even with Bentley. But shoots on the outside of the Continental, and that will get the move done. Logan actually didn't lose that much time, all things considered. Considering I thought he would have spun all the way off the racetrack, he has, however, completely missed the S's. What was that? I mean, that wasn't really Logan's fault necessarily, but it certainly wasn't good driving either. Everyone sucks here. Or everyone's in the wrong there. Logan should have missed the corner that way, but also Stott should have noticed he was going to miss the corner and not floored it. AJ will take full advantage of that chaos, and he finds himself back in P3. Meanwhile, in the Legion of Doom, Carter Ritchie has a chance to take the lead away from Travis, but brakes very cautiously. Might have worked out for the best, as Van Nistelrooy, for the 17th time this week, has missed that hairpin. Has he considered moving his braking points? I'm getting a bit betrayal here. I'm hardly being professional, but like, it's kind of hard to it's kind of hard to ignore that, you know what I mean? I've watched this man miss the third hairpin a dozen times or more. At some point I gotta point it out, right? Carter Ritchie has been hung out to dry by Van Nistelrooy's being behind Travis. Then Travis himself has missed the penultimate turn. Dylan looks to take full advantage. Down the inside goes the Lamborghini, and he does take full advantage. Dylan Baum has completed the first challenge in just 3 green flag laps. You cannot make that up. What a day. Travis, with all his braking might, nearly losing control, trying to stick with that Lamborghini into turn 1. Ritchie is still there as well. Torres is not too far away, and AJ is not either. If I don't expect this train to deform too quickly, I imagine those two will also get involved before the battle is over. Oh, make some rear bumper contact there. I didn't even notice Stotts is on the back of AJ. Maybe if I looked at the splits, I'd have noticed. Ritchie's a little ways off the track. Jen Torres already overtook him. I completely missed that somehow. And now Dylan Baum is gone. That's a second 1.4 seconds advantage. Here's the AMG to spoil Carter's fun. Just don't run into the back of the Bentley. Oh my word. Uh-oh. Oh, yikes. That would be meaningless contact normally, but it was just enough to take AJ's rear wing off. I don't know. Oh, yep, that damage is synced for us. That is exactly what has happened to AJ's car. And that is going to probably take him right out of contention, because that... I mean, we have some high-speed corners to make, and AJ is not going to be able to make them. He's going to spin all the way out. Jurgensmeyer narrowly avoids that. That was also a disaster, almost. Logan's lucky to slip through there. Yeah, no, AJ he needs a safety car to be in contention. I don't know if this is a scheduled stop for Matthew Stotts, or if he also got caught up in the mess that was caused just there. Logan Cool is pitting. I don't think he ran into AJ. Fidel Fabian is pitting. I don't think he ran into AJ. Yeah, AJ's pitting. Obviously, no one's really surprised there. No, that was scheduled. That was there was no repairs done. That was a very fast pit stop for Matthew Stotts. Logan is now properly fueled, so, and I think Fidel did in fact have damage. AJ is still in the pit lane. Meanwhile, back on the circuit, there's not a lot going on the circuit. We have the battle between the two British drivers here, Setchel versus Hannick, as we head towards the second hairpin. Two veterans of ARC who just never really have things go their way, it seems like. And they've certainly both been handed the shortest straw today. Anyways, shorter straws. I think... Well, DIVEBOMB had the shortest straw in the sprint race, as Setchel has absolutely missed the hairpin. This is the only battle on the track, the battle between the two Brits. Kind of looks like British weather, too. I'm sure they will attest. Just clouds. Just clouds and misery. That's what it looks like. I'm surprised it's not raining, to be honest. Setchel with oversteer, Hannick with understeer. Neither one of these cars seem to be really handling on rails at the moment. Hannick boxes, though. Probably an attempt to undercut the Porsche, rather than battle it, for, you know... The safer approach is just to not battle them, but that's also the boring approach. At the end of the day, this is a video game, is it not? Yeah, there's feeling Jamie Knock, one of the AF1 regulars, is watching the race. Surprised they haven't seen Billy yet, cheering on his teammate. I'm surprised he's not in the race for one thing, but he hasn't chatted, and usually he's the most talkative guy. Him or Logan during AF1 races. I don't particularly think those intervals are correct. Yeah, the two Ferraris are not 2 minutes behind. Yeah, that makes more sense. 57 seconds, that seems about right. Ugh, sudden cough. Travis is sort of keeping Dylan honest. He's not really putting pressure on him per se, but Dylan's also not just strolling away with the win either, and oversteer snaps like that will certainly help Van Oostendorp keep things competitive. I would have to imagine. Understeer from the Renault. That was loud! What was... Oh, somebody smacked the sign. That just actually scared me. Jumped a little in my chair because I was like, who just crashed? No one. There's just a signboard that just got struck down in cold blood. Setchel makes the pit stop, probably trying to cover off the other British man. Richie has missed that hairpin. He was getting pretty close to Torres there, but that apex will not help matters. All we're waiting on now is for the pit cycles to finish themselves off. And once that happens, then we should have more battles to cover on track. But in the meantime, we've just kind of got nothingness. And we did just have Fidel Fabian out dragging Setchel. And then promptly missing the hairpin. They both have, actually. We have seriously made a mockery of this hairpin today, guys. I don't know what is wrong. Oh, AJ hit the apex. It's become honestly a rare occurrence. Oh, Dylan is messed up again. He is around... Where is this? Oh, it's right in the middle of the S's. I didn't even know there was a gravel trap over there. What? Dylan takes a unique route to re-enter the circuit, and now Van Oostendorp is the race leader. If I had a nickel for every time I've seen Dylan spin and give the lead to a Renault, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice, right? Gearbox will remember that. That could be because of pit cycles. Despite that catastrophic failure from DIVEBOMB, he's still running P5. Obviously that means he's last of the cars that have not pitted. But I wouldn't say he's out of the race either. If he dares to stay out later than the rest, he can catch a sporadic safety car. Okay, never mind, he does not. He's pitting. Alright, I will close my mouth. I need a drink. There's just not a lot. No. We got something now. We got Luke Allen catching up to the Setchel. Logan Cool is like close-ish to Fidel Fabian, but honestly, I don't foresee much coming of that, if anything. Well, Luke Allen is definitely the faster car here. It's going to be just a matter of making the pass stick. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the track, Van Oostendorp pits from the lead, giving the lead to the Bentley of Jan Torres. COTA Richie will follow him into the pit stall. A bit of English on that. They both actually just about stopped for the hairpin, which probably put a pretty big damper on Luke's plans. They both have completely different ways of attacking that corner. And Luke tries to attack that corner, quite literally, but cannot convert. Attempted crossover, not enough grip to turn down to that apex, though. Luke is throwing the kitchen sink at Setchel. Setchel oversteers way off the circuit. No, he's still on the circuit. I thought he spun off. Setchel tries a crossover attack of his own on the Ferrari, but I think that battle is over. Actually, Setchel's keeping with him down the front straightaway. He might try a brake move. Oh yeah, he will. He's gonna squeeze Luke out and then just park the bus. Luke's gonna drive straight into the back of the Porsche. But ultimately, that wasn't really anything Setchel did particularly wrong. It was aggressive, but he did it about as well as he could hope to do. After the pit stop, Travis is an overall third, net second, behind only his teammate. The only other car in that realm who has pit. Carter is nearby, Jurgensmeyer is not. No, I can't read. Neither of them are nearby. Luke Allen continues to try and find some way to deal with this Porsche, and it is not working. Setchel is a rival to Logan Cool at this moment, as DIVEBOMB is around again, in the same place before. I didn't even know there was a gravel trap out there, and yet he has found it twice. Again, those different methods of attack just nearly crash into one another, quite literally. Luke with the calculated send into the fifth hairpin. Finally, the Ferrari has dealt with the Porsche for the foreseeable future. Oh, and then the Porsche has dealt with itself. That's an unhappy curb. Barely manages to, I think, avoid the wall, at the very least avoid damage. Almost cuts AJ off as they rejoin the circuit, and suddenly Connor Hannock has missed the penultimate turn and gives his compatriot a slap. Jen Torres has still not pitted in. Once he does, I've little doubt it'll be a Congo line 1-2, and not many people will be nearby to stop it, as Carter Ritchie is running a distant fourth place, 11 seconds behind the second place Renault car. Dylan has pit again, presumably damaged himself when he had that tumble. He has now been placed a lap down by the Bentley of Jen Torres. And by the time he comes out of his pit stall, if he even chooses to continue the race, given the damage he must have sustained, he will probably be also lapped by Matthew Stotts. Oh my, not if he does that. Luke Allen has his next target in his sights, and it's not going to be any easier than Setchel was. the last thing left that might resemble a possible battle for position is the fact that Logan, Luke, and AJ are decently close to one another. And I'm thinking that AJ is probably faster than at least one of these two. Even with the unfortunate mishaps that have, you know, taken place, it could always be worse, since his championship leader DNF from the sprint round and is running last in this one. So from AJ, yeah, sure, this has been a terrible race, but still gonna probably advance your points lead over DIVEBOMB, if nothing else. And if there are as few rounds to go in this championship as I think there are, you really can't ask for a whole lot more than that than to extend your points lead, even if it hasn't exactly been a pretty way of doing it. Luke's officially caught up to Logan Cool, but the top speed of that Lambo is impeccable. I believe Logan Cool just hit the brakes while riding the curb. I assume that to be what's just happened. Jan Torres finally bites the bullet and pits. The overcut obviously is only going to do so much. He will still take third place from this, as he is well clear of the Acura of Carter Ritchie, but he's got a ways to go if he's going to try and catch back up to the two Renaults that now lead the way. Looks like it's going to be up to the admins to create a memorable race finish here. Sure, we have 6 laps to go, but still. Everybody else pretty far removed from one another as things stand, except for these two being nose to tail. Yes, I did say the other two admins. Oh, that's dangerous territory. Are you trying to spin him? I wouldn't do that. Cut back from Knickel, but just nowhere to take it. Luke dummies some defense. It's time for a patented Luke Allen crossover, which he has pulled to perfection. Even caught AJ asleep at the wheel there, but it might not matter because that's a Mercedes-AMG GT3, and it has a lot of straight line speed that not even the Ferrari can match. But the brakes, though. Nope, can't match them either. And so with that decisive move, AJ will grab P7 and salvage at least something from this event. Well, that'll help if AJ Knickel just about spins out of turn 1 and nearly runs into Allen as he attempts to rejoin the circuit racing line. Alright, so the battle is reignited. AJ just has to do it over again after having spun in turn 1. As somebody who drove the AMG in their final season in this series, yeah, it can do that. You don't have stability control on, this thing will absolutely kick your butt under brakes if you're not paying attention. Despite being front-engined, it feels mid-engine when you are not on the throttle. I don't know how that happens. AJ will once again attempt a dive bomb into the same corner he passed Luke before. This time it wasn't quite as clean, as he kind of pushes Luke out and off the racetrack. Maybe he had to learn some racecraft. That's an in-joke. Because we need a little controversy to bolster the view count. Obviously. That's what Billy Targi did Friday. Tried purveying blatant lies, but he clickbaited like 6 people joining the stream, so... And then they instantly left when they realized that he was talking out of his rear end. So AJ has completed the task again, for the second time. Luke Allen stretching those gears for every little bit they're worth, but that AMG is gone. It does not care. Oh, the 2 Brits are back at it again. The mechanic just overtook Setchel. I believe that's what just happened. I didn't really get all of the story there. Can the Porsche use straight line speed? Panic will use the inside line. Setchel wants a crossover, just about too wide, but not for long. Long. I'm drowning in my own inability to speak. Oh my word. Setchel takes a very different plan of attack into those S's, and he about attacked Hannick's back bumper if he would have had to take to the runoff just to avoid a spectacular collision. Oh, that was throwing me off. I was like, I'm hearing another car. What? It's because that part of the track runs close to the S's, and the leaders are going through there. I like how 5th through 7th is just a train of AMGs. You're in danger, Carter Ritchie, especially when you've missed the S's in this way. And Jurgensmeyer is understeer... No, opposite. Oversteering his way back up to you. Now it's understeer. This car seems to be indecisive as to what it wants to do. I think AJ is also probably catching up to Fidel, based on the previous lap times that the two ran. And obviously Jurgensmeyer caught Carter Ritchie at a pretty fast rate. Or cough. As we enter just 2 laps to go, the top 4 couldn't be any more spread out. Juergensmeyer catching up to Carter Ritchie is just about the only real battle we have brewing as we begin lap 18. Or lap 17, I should say, since formation lap, go Burr. Knickel has also caught Fidel, so we might have that also on our hands, especially the way that AJ's just taking those S's has gained a lot of time on Fabian. Yeah, now I think couldn't be for that one. Uh-oh, nearly contact between the 2 Mercs. AJ wanted to sneak across, but he couldn't find an opportunity. The only thing that can counter AJ's top speed is the top speed of a car of the same model, though, so Fidel has a fighting chance here, if nothing else. He brakes defensively, though. It's an interesting strategy. A bit of oversteer from out of the hairpin, but he does make that work. He has kept this Canadian at bay for at least a bit longer, if nothing else. We see no effort heading into the 5th hairpin. Elsewhere, Juergensmeyer has definitely got to the back of Carter Ritchie, so we got these 2 battling, as I think just intimidated. Literally, not like the Dale Sr. sense, like actually just scared the crap out of Carter Ritchie. And Juergensmeyer will take 4th place just like that. AJ gets down the inside of Fidel, and I think that move is completed, as he is well clear of the AMG on corner exit. Does Ritchie have an answer for Juergensmeyer? We will soon be on the back straightaway, so I would hazard a guess that the answer will be no. Oh, AJ, that's not the racetrack, my friend. And now Fidel Fabian is back. And he is right on that diffuser, but he sort of played himself on that corner exit there. A bit of oversteer from the 27 car. I don't rightly think it's going to make a difference. This is an unexpected result, if I must admit. Matthew Stotts, he will head out of the final turn. He is going to sweep the day here at Circuit of the Americas. Sprint win, feature win. And for bonus points, quite literally, his teammate Travis Van Oostendorp will cross the line in P2. And Jan Torres, after going as far as he possibly could on his first pit stop, will roll across the line to take a podium finish. Oh my god, Carter Ritchie is disconnected with handful of turns to go. Juergensmeyer P4. So Carter Ritchie did not finish the race. AJ Knickel will come through for P5. Fidel Fabian P6. Luke Allen creeps through the last turn. He will have P7. It looks like Logan Cool, sans penalties, will also finish 8th again. He's finished 8th in both the sprint and the feature. Still scored more points than his teammate, who's going to literally cross the S's. He's already finished the race. He scores nothing. Or he scores 11th. I forgot we don't do the F1 points anymore. There is a dot on the map that is having a time. That's a great camera. What is it looking at? There we go. As the two CLE drivers do some donuts in the runoff. Apparently Logan had an in-game penalty, which will provisionally grant Setchel with P8. What are we waiting for? Jamie's... he's still in the hairpins. Man, he's not going to get around in time. And his car looks pretty damaged, so I guess that'd be why he's still here. And that will do it from Circuit of the Americas. Finally, the race is over. God, that was 43 minutes, and there weren't even any safety cars. That felt like an AEC race. Oh my word. So it's a 1-2 for Conga Line. Jan Torres scores a quiet podium. Knickel with a bit of misfortune, but none of it even remotely compares to that of his championship rival Dylan Baum, who didn't finish the top 10 in didn't finish in the top 10 in either race. And so that'll do it for today's race at Circuit of the Americas. My next see you Friday will be the realistic F1 finale coming to us from the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka. So until then, I'm out of here.